unmute us and move us over to what we've been up to, just to vibe until he's here.
Fair.
I haven't been up to shit.
I have actually in my 2 days.
I have as well.
Yeah, so here's this thing I was talking about. Here's what stuff looks like on my end right now.
Oh, that's funny.
Some people just have first letter dots.
That's really weird. Because it isn't going for the rest of us, it's only for him.
Yeah, but if I click on, like, your names, if I, like, click on your name on, like, the members tab, then it shows underneath it and it says streamer mode enabled.
Oh. Interesting.
So I'm assuming it is a streamer thing, it's just not functioning fully the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I assume it has something to do with the new locked names thing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Man, John's gonna get back here and say, like, a slur or something and gonna get me in trouble.
Oh.
That's not true.
It would be wild if he came back and just said that.
He just says other dumb shit.
Yeah, he'll come back and say some dumb shit like, I don't know. Can't think of any dumb shit.
Yeah, I have a lot to talk about. I just don't know when we want to start talking. We should probably wait just a little bit. Did he say he was, like, going for a shower or something?
I don't know.
Fine.
I don't think he said anything since I entered the call.
Yeah.
That's great.
I've been watching a lot of the GDQ VODs. GDQ kind of went crazy this year.
I would ask if you saw Mason in any, but I know he wasn't back there at all.
I straight up did not go into the stream room at all.
That goes to GDQ, doesn't watch a speed run.
You know what?
I didn't say that.
He said he just didn't step foot in the stream room, which can you blame him?
I just think it's funny. There were some great runs.
There were. We did watch some of the good ones. Just overall, there's not really a reason to enter the stream room. Funnily enough.
Guess. No, but it's funny to, scream at the runner because they're being a goober.
True.
Oh, I saw Across the Spider-Verse.
It's good.
That's a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Can't wait for Spider-Verse the third.
Yeah, I agree. I forgot to talk about that last week.
I've heard good things.
On the one hand, I'm not exactly a fan of how it ends, but at the same time, it's like, if they didn't end it that way, that was going to be a 3.5-hour movie.
Yeah, it was going to be like a 4-hour movie, and I would be down for that.
I would as well, but
that's a lot.
That's a lot of movie.
And specific runs that were good. I mean, there's some common ones the SADX one was really good. Because it was a all stories handoff controller, so they each played their specialized story. That was really cool. And they also went absolutely fucking bananas in every single run. They all hit every trick first try. It was whack as shit. I haven't finished it, but there was a Titanfall 2 run, and Titanfall 2 is always a fucking treat. Because that game is ridiculous. There was a fucking Monkey Ball run. They played Monkey Ball Kaizo, I think they called it, was the name of the mod pack.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's some ridiculous. They played Peggle Deluxe, and that runs great.
We watched
Peggle.
that one.
Peggle's great.
They played Pizza Tower, and it's Pizza Tower, so it was based as fuck and great.
Hey, did you know there's another Wario Land like that's coming out? Just like Pizza Tower, except instead of being like Pizza Tower, it's Wario Land 4, I think. So it's a slightly different style of Wario Land because those games change from each installment or from some installments.
Yeah.
That new one's called Anton Blast.
Good.
I can talk a little bit about what I've been up to in the meantime. While we wait for John. I have not read anything. I think. I don't think I read anything. Because I've been doing other things. I played the Lies of P demo. That game is very pretty. It has a lot of things I like in it. I have not really played any Dark Souls or Souls game, like real Souls game, to any form of completion whatsoever. I've booted up Bloodborne a bit. And so, like, I'm not gonna say I'm bad at the genre. I've beaten Blasphemous. I can play a game whose combat is predominantly parry-based. However, that is 2D, and 2D is much more in my wheelhouse, which is a really strange thing it's weird. I'm very good at 3D platformers, not 2D platformers, but I'm very good at any other 2D genre, comparatively, compared to 3D. An odd element of it is, Mason, did you get to play the demo of it, or no?
I have not yet.
Okay. So I played it on PlayStation, so it's a main 2 attacking buttons are right trigger and right bumper. Which is not, like, wrong. There's nothing wrong with that control scheme. I think it's just because I am coming off of Darksiders 1, where those 2 buttons very much are not your attacking buttons, that my muscle memory is like, oh, something is coming at you, you need to dodge, and then you need to retaliate. Oh no, I hit a face button that does not do that. I am getting owned. And I messaged Mason and I was like, I could probably change the controls and be happy, but I'm stubborn. So if I go back to that demo, I probably won't do that, and I'll probably just try to get good at the controls. That demo has 3 bosses in it. It's like a 3 to 4 hour demo, is my understanding. If you're good.
I've heard it's like at like the length of some games nowadays.
Yeah. I like everything aesthetically, like I said. I still don't know if you can sell me on the Souls game feature of you die and then do not get back to what you got before, thus you do not get what you have earned. I still don't know if I'm sold on that as a player. I still don't know if I feel like that's enjoyable for me. Because, like, on one hand, I get it, yeah. Like, you want it to be a challenge, and you want death to have meaning. But on the other hand, I don't want to waste my time playing a game, and then unfortunate things happen, or I play sloppy for a little bit, and any form of potential progress kind of just fucking disappears out the window. Especially early on. It's one of the... It's a penalty in a game that, if you're learning how to play it, is especially punishing. Because you need the resources to buy stuff, to, invest points and stuff, whatever it is that currency is going to do. Especially early game. So, if you're someone who's kind of just entering it, I can see where the difficulty comes from and why it is frustrating for sure. On the other hand, get good. I get that. And therefore, this might not be the right jumping in point to this style of game. But I also could be wrong, and this could very much be an easier one of these types of games. It is hard to say. I am not the expert on this genre. I should make my buddy Vinny play it and tell me what he thinks, because that man has a boner for all things Souls and all things Fallout. An odd two things to be madly in love with. Other things I did, I played some demos. I played a demo for a game called Unguard. I am not sure if I think this game is racist or not, because I do not know anything about the devs. But there is a part of me that even if the devs themselves do have like a Hispanic or Spanish background, that that I am a little worried that maybe some of the stereotypes in this demo go a little far. This is a game that's entirely you play as a woman who is running around with a rapier, fucking up this town's military and guard to cause disturbances. And it is a game that's all about parkouring, like environmental interaction with the enemies and other objects, and parrying. Hence the Unguard. So you could do things like kick boxes into guards, and then that stuns them, and then if they're like on the pier, you can kick them into the water, and you have like lots of cool parkour areas. It was really fun to play. I had to drop it to medium settings for it to even remotely run well on my computer, which is fine because my computer needs to be updated. But that was by far the one game out of the 3 demos I did get to that, well, 4 if you count Liza P. Liza P would almost assuredly not have ran on my PC. You know, so that was why I played that on my PlayStation. But On Guard was fun. I got through that demo, I finished it, and then I did its little arena battle mode, and I did that too. I could see myself playing that game when it comes out. I then played a game called Little Guardsman. That game is quirky and fun. It is basically Papers, Please. You play as a girl whose dad has gone to go bet on a sporting event, and thus you now must have to do his job of deciding whether or not this person should enter town. From the bit of the demo that I got to play, you have 3 actions you can do when interacting with the person at the gate, and then you must make the decision on whether they are allowed in or not. You have some tools. One of them's like an X-ray device. One of them's a truth spray. You can interrogate them. There's some other stuff. And depending on what you choose and what outcomes you get, certain things change in the story, in like that arc of the story, it seems. There's also like a written rule for like the week, it seems, was the implication for this week. The people who are like in charge of the guardhouse above you have important things they want you to keep track of. So like in the demo, what you have is elderly are it has been discovered that the elderly are running a drug ring. And it has one of my favorite lines, which is, that does not mean that every elderly is a drug dealer. However, please proceed with caution. It is very funny in that regard. And then it's like anyone who, and there's like a couple other things, like if someone is supposed to give a speech at this event, you should call this person so they can get escorted. Like there's like a couple of like, you know, additional rules to follow to keep up with it. And then the second half of the demo is a game show where you're picking the contestant who is going to go save the princess. And you get to ask some funny little questions to them, and they give some funny little answers. That game was cute and really fun, and I will almost certainly buy it. The last demo I played is a game that I did not expect to be as fun as it was. It's called While the Iron's Hot. It's a blacksmithing sim, but it's a blacksmithing sim where you also go out and collect the recipes and the materials and do quests for people and interact like on the think like original Final Fantasy overworld map movement. Like you have that where you get to like traverse and you can chop down trees and break large rubble, go to different villages, take on quests. I found an ox. He became my friend. There's a quest that I don't know if you can actually complete in the demo because I couldn't find the last 2 things I needed for, but it's to get the ox a girlfriend. There's a little area on the map in the demo where there's this set of musical instruments by a put-out campfire, and you can repair all 5 of the instruments, and it plays really good music that each instrument adds to as you repair it. That's nice and cute. This game's really cool. I basically did everything I really could in it. It has like little mini games for when you like if you can smelt the ore, and when you smelt the ore, it has a mini game where you can produce more ore by timing the button press right. So it's it gives you one of those sliding bars where it has like that green area and then a yellow area in the green area, and then the red area where you should not stop the bar at. And it moves at a speed that is literally just right to always get the yellow, which maybe means it's too easy, and it may need to be a tiny bit faster if you want it to not always give you additional rewards. And then like any kind of crafting you do, like on the anvil, is like, here's the area you need to keep of the metal. Break off the area outside of the designated one. And then the rest of it's just Minecraft crafting. This game was really fun. I put again more time into that demo than I thought I was going to. Things I watched. Well, sorry. I also played some more Darksiders 2. That game's fun. I'm a boss down. I'm in the second dungeon. Yeah, I don't have too much to say right now. I'm not finding things particularly difficult, but I also didn't really find anything in Darksiders 1 difficult. I've yet to run into an enemy that is really obnoxious in 2, whereas 1 had a couple of those, where I just did not care to fight them, and anytime I would walk up on them, I would go demon form. Yeah, like Darksiders 1 have like these little behemoth guys, as in like they just look like smaller behemoths from Final Fantasy, and they're special in that if you go to do your execution move on them, you have to do it twice. So they're just a pain in the ass and take forever, but if you just go demon form, you can just obliterate them. And so in Darksiders 1, that's what I did. 2 hasn't had anything like that. It is I got to the part of Darksiders 2 where you go, hey, I've completed the quest, and the blacksmith goes, okay, here, I have a new weapon for you, and they just hand you Strife's gun, and it is probably the funniest cutscene I've ever seen, because it's just, you know what will really help you in combat? Hands Death a gun. Where the fuck did you get this? This is my brother. Oh, fine. It's just, and then you can just walk around and unload an entire clip into someone rapidly.
Gun.
It's really funny. Things I have watched. I've watched the stuff for the podcast. I then watched today, I was hanging out with the boys, and I was watching some more of Vikings. We are into season 2 of Vikings. Picked right back up where we were. We hit the time skip. It is, again, really funny to have watched parts of Vinland Saga and to be watching Vikings and go, eventually, the Vikings show timeline will hit the point in history that Vinland Saga is clearly at. Because we got to the part in Vikings where they're like, oh yeah, this is the king of Wessex. And like, he's considering maybe having the Vikings fight under him. And my brain goes, ah, yes, I know this will eventually happen because in Vinland Saga, there are some Vikings that very much serve a king. Or serve some kings. And I'm like, yeah, so like it's that neat little lineup of like, where will these things go? Vikings is a fun show because you get to sit around and watch every character do the dumbest things possible. Where you go, what was your play here? You are kind of the worst human being possible. We got to the episode of Vikings where a group of Christians crucify a former Christian. That's an interesting scene that has a lot of questions in it. Have you seen Vikings, Mason?
No.
No, yeah, you can imagine, however, how interesting of a scene that is.
Yeah.
Especially so. Here, let me see if I can grab a photo quick.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh god, I don't remember his name. This is what I wanted. I need a photo of him from season 2, so that you can understand what this character looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this first, and this will make no sense to John, but that's what he gets for not being here yet.
True.
So this is what the character looks like when you first meet him. He is the character who gets taken in by the main character to be converted to paganism. It is really funny. And a lot of the things that happen in this show are with him are very interesting. Where's a good season 2 shot of him that isn't him being crucified? I'll leave it up to you if you guys think he looks like any particular person.
Oh, he just looks like every Lord of the Rings character shoved through an AI generator.
Okay, perhaps.
Is the joke that he looks like Brian David Gilbert?
No, but that was something that was clearly on my mind as well.
I was thinking he looked like Rhett from Rhett and Link.
So I'm gonna spoiler tag this because, it's a crucifixion image. I don't want you to have to constantly stare at it. Let me know if he looks like anyone now as he's being crucified. If he really looks like something in particular. Because when season 2 kicked in, I'm like, for a character who's the Christian of the Vikings, he sure does kind of look like. And then this scene happens, and Alex turns to me, he goes, "Oh, Sean, I see it now." I go, "Well, I would hope so. I would hope you see what I see." Yeah, that show's really that show really does raise some really interesting moral questions. Like, is it okay that your husband went across the sea and had a child with another woman? Like, do you blame him? Is it good for you to leave him? Well, what if you do leave him and you wind up in an abusive relationship with an asshole? Does that mean you've made the wrong choice? Vikings asks the hard-hitting questions. Other things such as, should you have sex with said woman in the room while your son is also there? You might begin to understand how his wife figured it out. Besides, the woman showing up pregnant to their house later on. It also asks you the question of, if you were a Christian back in this time period, and you were taken into slavery by Vikings, and the guy who took you into slavery and decided not to kill you went, "Hey, you want to join me and my wife for a threesome? Would you?" This show's wild. It has a lot of similar Game of Thrones energy, obviously.
Yeah. Wild that show's on, what, History Channel?
Yeah.
Right?
History Channel worked on it, yep. I don't know if it aired on the History Channel, but I know it's on. I think we watched it on Hulu. I would imagine since the History Channel worked on it, it probably did air while it was ongoing, but maybe not. Also, I got a new phone, which means that I can actually do things on my phone again. Which means I have re-downloaded Bilibili. So I will be going back to reading a lot of those comics in my free time. Maybe. We'll see. I have to get back to Dressrosa. Mason, what have you been up to?
So I forgot to say this last week, but I went and saw Across the Spider-Verse, and that is...
You did say it.
Did I? Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie's really good. I caught up on Gundam last night.
You did tell us that.
That show is wild, and also I think is only going to have the 2 cores based on how it's going. Which is wild to me, because I was not expecting this show to get to this point in the show and go, "Oh, they might end in 3 episodes." Weird. Still really good. It definitely goes, "Hey, no more Happy School Fun Time. This is a fucking Gundam show."
So I've heard.
Way more than you would think. Aside from that, I played the Final Fantasy 16 demo.
I've been meaning to do that. Unless you think it's better to go into that game not playing that demo.
No, play that demo.
It's just the beginning of the game, right?
It's just the first act of the game, yeah. Or like the first couple of hours. That's game of the year. Just based on what I have played of it, that is game of the year.
Yeah, my understanding is that...
Okay, but Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my understanding is that it is competing with Check's Notes Tears of the Kingdom.
Fair, however, that game, the combat in it is quite possibly the most fun combat I've ever. It gives you such a flow state feeling playing it. If you enjoy action RPGs, you will love that game. It is an M-rated Final Fantasy game. It does some shit.
They're British.
Yeah, that is true. They are British. Look, there is a point early on where you have a chocobo and he saves you.
Oh no!
And then the next scene is him getting crushed by a rock.
Oh no!
On screen.
Maybe I don't want to play this game.
You watch a decapitation happen on screen. That game is very fucked, but it's very good. Aside from that, I haven't really done a whole lot. I interviewed for a position at work, and then within the day was told no.
Damn.
Because of some dumb shit.
I am sorry.
I had a breakdown at work about it, but I'm doing okay now.
Good.
I'm looking for a new job though, so
fair.
Aside from that, I haven't really done anything else. I don't remember if this happened before or after last podcast, but the new chapter of One Piece came out before Oda went on break for a month.
The new chapter did come out. It went crazy.
Yeah, he left us with some stuff. He left us with a lot to ponder for the next month. Yeah, aside from that, that's about all I've done. Also, at this point, I'm going to call John.
I appreciate. He's probably taking a shower.
Fair
is my
guess. Yeah,
that doesn't
that's a
mean
realistic
you shouldn't
assumption.
Call.
So I'll mute a second. What have you done, Michael?
He kicked us off.
Shit, you're right.
That's right, baby. John fell asleep. No John this week.
John is dead.
That'd be really bad for you, Michael, in particular. Probably.
Nah,
in terms of
I just own his shows now.
True, you just get to talk about all of them. We should probably let you talk about at least one of them anyway.
They're his shows. He deserves them. I'm the one who picked Heavenly Delusion thinking it was going to be better than it was. I didn't just insta-pick a PA work show. That's on me.
I do indeed need to go and finish that.
Yeah, I should go and actually finish the rest of it, but...
Yeah, I would have watched it, but it hasn't been that long since the last podcast.
Yeah, that's fair. That is kind of also my reasoning to not having gotten to it. If I had done more than dealt with my car yesterday, I would have probably gotten to it. Hey!
There he is.
Oh, yo.
He's just been AFK in the background the whole time.
Yep. Oh, that's right.
Hey, John, what have you been up to? We're live.
I noticed. Nothing much. Got new headphones finally. From my birthday last week. Those came in the mail. Been getting some Pokemon stuff ready for NAIC in a couple weeks here, and overall not too much right now. But I finished Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if I did that last week or not. Collected all the shrines in there as well. I did that. That's new. You get a really, really, really cool reward, in my opinion, for doing that. But yeah, keep brief. That's kind of it. Watched anime, kept up with my usual stuff. Good time.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. We're an anime podcast. Surprise. And we are past the halfway point, down to only 6 of our shows. 3 of which are John's. 2 of which are mine. And 1 that is Mason's. There are going to be spoilers for up to episode 9 of everything. Do not spoil anything past that, though. Some of our shows don't actually have anything past that right now. Looking at you, Mashle. Because we caught up somehow. Because it did a 0.5 episode, that's how. So yeah, there's going to be spoilers days. Do not spoil past that. There's going to be harsh languages, all of them. And now we get to ask the question: favorite episode of the week?
Oh fucking no.
Who wants to start? I'm going last. That's my determination. That's what I've determined. I will go last this week. I already know what mine is, though.
I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is once again a tie because this is hard.
But you do gotta pick.
It's between Hell's Paradise and Dead Mount Deathplay. But I think I'm gonna lean towards Hell's Paradise just because we got lore and we got a sick ass fight scene.
That is fair. Hell's Paradise did go hard this week.
It did.
Which one of you's next?
It's hard to pick one this week because I feel like everything was.
Hi, all of our shows are good.
Why do you think my response
obvious
to pick one was? I don't fucking know.
There's no obvious standout for me. So just for the sake of being different, I'm gonna go Skip and Loafer. I really liked what it did this week with
that's fair.
and
Skip and Loafer.
A lot of stuff going on there, which we'll talk about pretty soon.
We will.
Okay,
Michael.
I thought Insomniacs was real good, but like thinking back on Dead Mount, the fucking reveal at the end of it went fucking crazy. And like, you know what? Dead Mount can take the W.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's fair.
I'm gonna be the odd person out of the group. I think the best episode this week was fucking Mashle. This episode rocks. This episode kicks ass.
Sick too.
The issue is that knowing this is coming makes it hit significantly less hard.
You know what?
Like already knowing the mechanic of a second and knowing how that's all going to work is just kind of like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, absolutely. I think the stuff that happens with mass character is great.
We'll talk. We'll talk about Mashle in a minute.
The stuff with Lance is fine.
I actually also really like that.
I think you could argue the same thing about Deathplay that in the same way, where it's just like when you watch DMDP this week, it's just like exposition.
No, that's absolutely fair.
Name drop, character you don't know, mystery. By the way,
it's also not to put any slack on Yamada-Kun, which also went crazy this week, as it does like every week somehow.
Yeah, and
it's crazy ass direction.
In fact, I think now's the perfect time to drop the power ranking.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
See, there's not that much. You're not wrong, Mason. There's not that much fold.
Yeah, I was the only one. Oh,
That's because Mason and I have similar opinions, and if we didn't, there would be more things bolded on Mason's list.
Okay, but like the mashup number 2 is fucking wild, Sean.
I'm gonna talk about it in that.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say this now, and I'll talk about it when I talk about it because it's my show. I legitimately think this week's episode of Mashle saved it from going off this week for me. In that it has, in my opinion, put itself in a position where I feel confidently it's going to be a high ride straight to the end of the season now. And I'll talk about that. Yeah, there's some interesting things here for sure. Let's get into it. Let's go on in. That's not the show we start with. There we go. Hey Mason, let's talk about Hell's Paradise this week.
Yeah, so they're all like they're trying to get into the central area of Shinsenkyo. and Senta, the guy who Yuzuriha is being watched by, is like, look, guys, we can't go in there without a plan. Like, we have to kind of scope it out. We got to figure it out. And they all go to sleep, and Gabimaru is like, I don't have time for that shit. And goes anyways. He gets to a foggy, dead forest with a bunch of trees that look like people praying. And they are chanting as well. Like, it's not like part of the music. It is literally like music that is happening in the show, which I thought was. He gets to this gate, and then the Tenzin that killed Tenza shows up, and is like, "Hey man, look, I'm gonna be real with you. I just fought some of you guys. I'm tired. I don't want to do it again. Can you just fucking leave, please?" And Gabimaru is like, "You guys got the elixir of life?" And the Tenzin punches it. What follows is a sick-ass fight where Gabimaru almost dies several times. But he
One could argue.
But he also beats the ever-living shit out of this Tenzin. To the point where it almost dies and then transforms into I don't remember the name that they used for the form, but it's essentially a plant-animal hybrid thing.
It started with like a fucking K with some whack ass name.
Chikan or something like that.
It was probably some like important word in like Taoism or something.
Yeah.
That is just something we don't know because we do not practice that religion.
Yeah. And eventually, Gabimaru fucks it up a bit, almost dies, goes into a berserk state. Almost dies again, but I believe her name's May, ends up coming in and throwing a force field up and saving him. Sagiri, Senta, and Yuzuriha go and try and find him with Hoko. Hoko explains that all these trees that Gabimaru saw are all of his villagers, because their people just turn into trees when they're gonna die, and one of them's his daughter. We also get lore about what the Tenzin actually are, which they are 7 portions of a god that split himself into Tenzin. And they drink from the elixir of life and always live. They're immortal beings. They're essentially gods. It also this realization, in a way, happens with Gabimaru during the fight, and it leads to one of the hardest lines ever, which is, "Oh, they're not gods; they're monsters. That means I can kill them."
Which isn't wrong.
Yeah. And then we see a bit of stuff happening with the actual Tenzin. We meet all of them through a conversation where they're discussing whether they prefer to have a male presenting body or a female presenting body. But also they're all the same. They all have the same voice and everything. And then we cut to Gabimaru and May on this riverbank, and they're found by the bowl cut dude and the guy who had to chop his hand off. That's about where we end the episode off.
Don, how did you not grab the most base screenshot of all time? Even if I die, I'll make it back alive.
Yeah.
Come on,
that's what it is.
Good base.
No,
you got even in my eyes and nose.
It's the same thing.
No, the next line is literally, "If I die, I'll make it back alive."
Yes.
It was
it's
most.
Like the fucking,
you know what
like
I think? You know why I don't think I grabbed
died,
it?
But I lived.
I think I know why I didn't grab it, and I think it's because the movement of the shot visually is in motion when he says it, so it's
fair.
blurry.
But I think I like that line significantly better.
Yeah, this line's still raw as fuck.
Oh no, this line's still great. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the equivalent.
No.
Where you killed
more
sadly, yes, but I lived.
The only one who can kill me is me.
Listen.
Yeah, this episode, OSC this episode again. The past 2 episodes of this show, its soundtrack has been on point. Incredible. I absolutely adore it. These fights are crazy.
Yeah.
I don't imagine the set. I haven't even like noticed the soundtrack, but I haven't imagined it's been bad.
It's been like particularly really good.
It's been good.
Before I forget, I did a little bit of. I was bored at work one day and read a Wikipedia article. I read the one on this one. Things that we kind of miss from the anime or from the manga that we don't get in the anime. They are the 5th expedition to go off to this place. Every other one has been like shogunate, like approved samurai, and none of them have come back.
Besides that one guy.
Besides that one dude.
Besides that one guy
who's had a better day.
Yeah. So they were like, "Fuck it, we're sending criminals now."
Yep.
That was something that we didn't actually get. I don't believe.
We knew they had sent them. We just didn't know the number. I think.
Yeah. Also found out, Aizen, the red-haired dude, was the number 1 rank.
That felt like the case.
Yeah.
Which makes
you
wonder
that we never had.
How did he actually die that easily? But hey,
he let his guard down like an idiot.
Big fuck off giant.
I get the big fuck off giant, but like.
The only reason they beat the giant is because it's a 2-person job and Gabimaru's the goat.
It's a 2-person job and they had the exact right combination to do it.
Yeah. Also, Sagiri, we learned through like either that bit or later, she is like in the top like 3 in terms of swordsmanship of that group.
Could Gabimaru have probably done that fight with Aizen? Yeah. Is it likely they would have been able to do it together? No, because
Aizen wouldn't have worked with him.
Yeah, absolutely not. Something I think is really cool about the monster form design, is that it, at least so far, the one we've gotten, incorporates the male and female body into it. Also, these are sick as fuck. I spent the entirety...
They're called Kishikai.
Kishikai. Thank you.
I went and looked it up.
I think this episode solidified in my mind that you could make a Souls-like game of Hell's Paradise and it would play fucking incredible.
Yes.
I love the dynamic of the Tensen, the 7 of them. High 7 path reference. Hello, we are takes the same root of, folklore, religion. Assuredly.
The same path of reincarnation. Yippee.
Yeah, I think they're really interesting. I am terrified that it seems like we have been dealing with the runt of the litter. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that it's like, he's dead, right? Yep. Very clearly knows that they're lying.
Yeah.
Immediately followed by, if you just did your job and killed them, we wouldn't have any problems. And you killed yours, right? They couldn't have possibly lived.
You're sure, right?
Some people do a really bad job killing. They also delivered the conversation that I really like, which is, again, the head of the Tensen, the original one, basically going, we are going to have to deal with this problem because the longer you kill something and back it into the corner, the more dangerous it's going to get. And the more things you take away from it, the more dangerous it's going to get. So we should deal with these pretty soon. Drink
as
your
we
rainbow.
See Bakugo.
Yeah,
as we see
carrying his brother.
Carrying his brother out of the fucking pit.
I also greatly appreciate drink your rainbow juice.
Yeah.
That's maybe possibly the elixir of life made out of human.
Oh, it is. Assuredly.
Yeah, no, this is just like the plot of FMA where they gotta just condense humans.
Also, really interesting was the conversation between the Tensen, whose name I'm not gonna remember any of their fucking names.
No.
The one who fights Garimaru though.
That's Jujin.
No, what's even better is that they have 2 different names.
Yep.
Because they call each other one name, the tree calls them a different name.
Yep.
And those are even longer names.
All I remember is one of them's named Sagacious.
Yes, that was the last one. I don't... Or the second to last one of them. But they mentioned the Gabimaru that they haven't had a human this strong in insert amount of time. I wonder...
They're also questioning the fact that he's human to begin with, because he might be a hybrid breed of like someone who has drank the elixir and then has had,
well,
it's kind of what they're hinting at.
They also said, at least Hoko said, no, I have issues going through this mist. You can't, like, normal humans cannot go through this. They'll get lost.
Yeah, and Gagmar just walked it.
Yeah,
Gagmar just walks forward.
Yeah.
Hey, he told me it's in this direction. Oh, look, I'm here.
Here I am.
We do get that dope ass moment where he's just like, okay, I'm running through all the things I can do. What else can I do? Punch to the gut. What the fuck did I just do? What the fuck did I just do? Something worked. I have to figure out what worked. Force field. Bubble. Did she go bounce? I'm very curious what her fucking deal is. Because the Tenzin knows her. Obviously. Yep. She has the power of the thing.
We don't know how much the Tenzin knows her.
He knows her name.
Yeah, they call her by name.
Or is it just Jufan that says it?
Just Jufan says it, but
yeah, it's just
why they haven't done anything about her yet.
Yeah, because it's entirely possible that May was a person who snuck in and drank the elixir, and it's this bitch's fault, and they don't want anyone else to know about it. But they can't deal with it, or they can't deal with it at this point.
The scene where Garimaru just pummels them to a pulp is so... Legitimately, for a second, I was like, did we clear one?
Does he win?
Did you? Because there's like, it is kind of that moment where it's that DBZ moment of regeneration, huh? If I kill it fast enough, it won't have the time.
Yeah, and then we also get the line of, by a human? How is this happening? And you're like, oh, maybe? No, and then it enters Super Saiyan.
Well, I love too that he does the bit where it's the Tenzin's on the ground. He's just like, "Come on, bitch! I know you're still alive. Tell me what I want to know." Dead.
Overall, this episode's just incredible. The fight's beautiful. And I'll say it. This feels like a fresh, cool new shonen. Like it is different enough from the other things that surround it in the genre for me. That I'm like, yeah, I'm in. It finally feels like we really hit like here's your actual thread of the story. Which is neat. Or at least the first thread. Who the fuck knows?
I mean,
it depends if this is long running or if it's actually going to end eventually.
This manga goes on a while. I think it's like 17 volumes, I want to say.
I forget. Is it done already?
I think it is.
I think it finished right when the show got announced, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Hold on, I'm looking right now.
Yeah, it ended January 25th of 2021. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's 13 volumes. There's 127 chapters.
So it could all take place here. It could literally just be this
absolutely is this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could potentially get a second season, but
I think for sure.
This is probably it's like 127 chapters in my brain is at least 3 cores.
Yeah, for sure.
And depending on being able to extend fight scenes into anime form, it's probably going to be like a 50 by end. Because like this fight was probably like a chapter,
which is better than JJK, which will be checks notes 6 seasons long.
Yeah,
if even. It'll purely be based on how much of Shibuya gets done.
Right.
Any other thoughts on Hell's Paradise?
No. I think that's what's really sick. I think our character's really sick. And yeah, it's doing a really good balance of like introducing story and having action and like things are happening. And it did the thing I wanted from last week where it's like, I just want to see them beating shit up, and they beat shit up this.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of beating shit up, our Battle Shonen was a Battle Shonen this week. Crazy.
We finally did it. We've hit the first big action climax.
Hey, it's Mashle. So we kick off with Lance's fight against it's worth because his crazy that his whole character's about whether he's worthy or not. And knowing his worth. This fight's interesting. This has a very Naruto fight feel to it. Where you got dude whose main casting mechanic is mud. And so he's just like, so your Lance immediately gets gravioled, and is fine. And they go back and forth on this for a while. We get the Magus Lupus, the Magia Lupus speech of, we are superior. We have earned our way here. You are but insects on the floor. Cower beneath us. I deserve the world and more. My parents are abusive assholes. I'm seeing a trend here. I wonder if this is a show about generational trauma.
A lot of good parents in this show, I'll be honest.
We'll get onto that too. And yeah, so they do a little bit of back and forth here, and then we get that little inner monologue from him where he's like, "I am safe inside my mud." He has not realized that I am using it to squish to soften my impact and keep me safe. And then Lance goes, shards of ground, and just launches them into the wall of mud. And he goes, okay, can't do this now. Hey, did you know that I'm a double liner? Get fuck. And introduces us to the mechanic of, as Michael said, the secondeth. The next level of spell casting.
Drugs.
They're level 2 finisher. And thus creates a mud golem. And it's really funny because the only thing that I have to believe the only thing that can go through anyone's mind during this scene of him going like, I have 2 marks. My parents should understand that I do have potential. I am strong. You will not beat me. And you go, yeah, but Lance also has 2 marks, you fucking idiot. What do you think he's gonna do?
And shitty parents.
True! And also has one of the strongest base magics, as people have to like to talk about it. Gravity. So Lance goes, okay, my secondeth. Torture rack. He puts him in the torture rack, baby. It's not fully called that, but he creates these pillars that then inflict gravity in all different directions and start to pull the creature, and then fucking demolishes him. And Worth's just like, I've lost, huh? Me to the likes of you, pouts, and then Lance gives a nice little. I really enjoyed this moment, because comparatively to some of our other characters, this is probably the first antagonistic character who's shown up, and I'm like, you have enough character and like uniqueness to maybe be a consistent supporting cast character in the long run if the show wanted to. So to have Lance be like, hey, by the way, is that your book? Your really worn down study book? I don't mean to like shatter your whole entire view of reality, bro, but my parents suck too. And you know what I did? I said fuck that and went off and did my own thing and stopped caring. We also learned that Lance's younger sister wants to be a singer. If she makes it out of this story alive.
That's what it feels like.
And then we get a good moment from Worth where as Lance walks away to who the fuck knows where, he just turns around and is like, this is probably the right direction. Worth's just like, yeah, I know what I really wanted, but also fuck you. I didn't want this. Fuck you. Smash cut. Mash's fight. Speed. The power of acceleration. We learned this person does have magic. Whoops. But they also possess the evil eye. Cut to 2 of my shows having the evil eye. Do you guys think it shows up in My Home Hero by the end of it? Honestly, it might. You never know.
No.
You never know. Apparently that shit gets wild based on its source material from what Mason was telling me.
Eyes are evil.
Yeah.
The evil eye is a very common thing in stories and myths and media, yes. But this evil eye cancels all magic. Surprise. We knew this was gonna happen. And thus, what's this character's name?
Abyss Razor?
Abyss Razor. Abyss Razor is like, not only did my parents name me Abyss Razor at birth, but I then developed the cursed eye, and thus they hated me, locked me in a prison cell to hide me from people, and then tried to strangle me to death. Yeah.
So a decent upbringing. Like, I mean,
yeah. Not too different from everybody else's around here, seemingly.
Yeah, like, honestly.
Could have been worse.
Like, the only person who's had a good upbringing at this point is Mash.
And maybe Dot. It seems like Dot was raised well. We don't know. But also, Razor's like, yeah, your friend, you got 30 minutes, and then she's going to be all magicless, just like you. Won't that make you happy? And Mash is just kind of standing there. And then Razor accelerates and does more slashes with the sword, to which Mash just takes it and then takes a slice straight into his gut, his 6-pack, his 12-pack, his gut, and just holds it there and is like, sup, get your shit kicked in. Bitch. To which then Abyss Razor goes, got it, okay, we can't do this. Second this, I am now making a Mega Man-esque style gravity down, gravity up field. You are being gravity downed as Mash gets an arrow that points to his dick. And Razor is being gravitied up. And Razor maybe gets on a little bit too much of a high horse and goes, you will not get me, you will not catch me a second time, to which Mash in slow motion breaks the entire ground around him, creating a singular funnel and goes, bitch, I caught you. And then does Dragon Ball Z level instant transmission, kicks the shit out of Abyss Razor for the next 3 minutes. The soundtrack in this episode goes hard, as it always does. I'm a firm believer now that when this show gets voted off, or when we're done watching it, I'm gonna go read the manga and I'm gonna have rap music playing in the background the entire time. Because I think that's the right way to take in this content. Then they have a little bit of a, Abyss Razor explains this and Mash just goes, yeah, you're right. I probably am living a pretty good life. Outside of the fact that, I have no magic and thus no one likes me because of that fact that they knew. But hey, we're ignoring that part because I was raised by a good grandfather who also had a really shitty life. Wow, yeah, we are really just kind of dealing with the my parents' generation sucks, huh? And Mash is like, but you know what, Abyss? I'd be your friend. And Abyss Razor's like, no, you wouldn't. Also, you shouldn't go any farther. You will get fucked. And Mash goes, thanks for the heads up. I'm gonna go now. Also, I meant what I said. That's the end of the episode.
Thanks for the heads up, friend.
So here's the thing I'm gonna say about Mashle, is that episode 10, I imagine, is wherever Mash is going, plus Dot and Finn's fight. So then episode 11 and 12 are just the end of Mash's fight and the closing of the show. It feels like, in my head, of the season. So, my brain's like, yeah, this is just gonna be, a straight action battle manga shown in red the whole way through, from here on out. And with how it executed this episode, I'm down. I thought this episode ruled. This is probably one of the shows for you where I'm like, yeah, I actually kind of really now want to see the rest of this show. And I don't feel bad about kind of feeling that way, because Mashle has always been that show where it's like, yeah, it's fine, I enjoy it. And to have to get to a part where it's like, yeah, now I really enjoy it is great. To me, it's dodged the sleigh this week, is what I'll say. And I'll talk more about probably why when we get to other stuff. But I understand it being a very hard week for this.
I mean, we're just at that point where it's everything. It's a very difficult week to vote anything off. But I agree that Mashle episode this week was really good. It's the best parts of Mashle. It's when you have Mash doing stupid shit, being One Punch Man. But
also being the most based
actually
human being ever.
Trouble. But he's also based, yes. Mm-hmm. He's also just a nice guy in general. Who looks out for his friends and other people.
We also get the line
my
from
abs are pretty toned.
I also love him just shouting muscles. Different muscles.
Oh
yeah,
kicks
the shit out of people.
Oh, yeah, it's full muscle magic hurricane rush.
That's my favorite gimmick of him, is the fact that he's just shouting. He just says different muscle types as he just.
This is actually a really educational battle manga.
It's nice. Yeah. He is correct in which muscles he's using.
I would hope so. I would hope that besides cream puffs, this is the only other thing he is 100% confident in. We also I forgot, we got the line from Lance this episode, which is, you don't get to call my friends nitwits. Only I get to call them that. You don't get to say we don't get to say that they're fucking dropouts and losers and slackers. That's me. He really is the Chaz Princeton of this group.
You call them idiots. I call them my friends. We are not the same. They are idiots, but that's besides the point.
That because a big thing that's gonna happen next episode doesn't work. Not gonna work as well in the anime, and I'm sad.
I'm interested.
No, I know what you're talking about.
It's a thing that only works because the manga's in black and white.
Hey, you say that, but the show might do something about it.
It'll find a way.
It might.
It might.
Other Mashle thoughts?
Good Mashle, give me more.
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's a lot of good shows still to talk about this week.
Let's talk about the show it seems we are the most divided on. I would argue it's probably this and another one in terms of what the power rankings show this week, but let's talk about it. It's Skip and Loafer.
So, Skip and Loafer this week. So we're on our break week still, and so our main girl meets me is going home. She has some quality time at home, hangs out with her friends and stuff, talks about what's going on, talks about school and stuff. And she enjoys some nice chill time home. Mom takes an extra day off just to hang out with her. And it's very nice. And she comes back super tan from her vacation. In which she kind of notices, some people change over summer vacation. It's kind of the message here. And she notices our boy is being a little bit more distant right now. Clearly has some stuff going on in his life. And being the base friend that she is, notices that and goes, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. And doesn't get all up in his business, but goes, hey, I just wanted to give you these crackers. Also, let's talk for a bit. And they just have a nice little conversation. And then she's walking away. He goes, I wish I could be like that, bright and chipper, but I'm just kind of a downer, I guess, right now. And then she runs back and gives him another extra cracker. He's like, hey, here, take this. You've been down recently.
It was two
you
more
need
crackers.
It.
Yep.
I thought it was just one, and then she gave him a second one.
No, she gives
she gives him one, and then she goes, "You need three."
3, so she hands him 2 more. Yep.
Okay, as she does. And our boy just kind of like laughs it off, but it's a very good scene for our main characters, and I mean it's a really simple episode in that like not too much happens. They just kind of have friend character conversations. We're done with spring break. We're back. We do have school festival stuff that we're getting prepared for, it seems like here, which is nice. Mitsu's learning about all the restrictions and stuff and just gets really excited about the festival in general. But yeah, I mean that's kind of everything. It's very brief, it's very straight to the point this week. And a lot of stuff happens that is good for our characters and good for the show, I'd say.
That's kind of Skip and Loafer in a nutshell. Is that not a ton happens because it's just a cute little romance between two goobs.
Yeah, this is by far
on different ends of the goob spectrum.
This is by far the show's most slice of life episode. Like it's nowhere. It's not as focused out on its romance. It's very clearly focused on the slice of life. The fact that her being home takes up literally 3/4 of the episode. Is how you know it's a slice of life episode. And I don't think that's bad. I think it's perfectly good for what the show's doing. It's a setup episode leading into a festival arc. I don't have too much to say about Skip and Loafer. For me, it was just For me, it felt like it was on par with Insomniacs for me on what happened in the episode. Not like I personally felt like more in the story happened in Yamada. And like I'm really high on our other 3 more, action oriented shows. So like it's difficult. To me it really feels like we have 3 shows in one basket, 3 shows in another basket on this podcast. And it's just where do you feel about each of them in relation to each other? And like, if I had to pick something that's a weak link on Insomniacs, Yamada, and Skip and Loafer, for me, I felt like it was Skip and Loafer this week. I would love to dive more into the stuff with Shima. I really enjoy the I don't have a right to enjoy my summer. Hard cut to her running back to him. The show going, yes you do. Shut the fuck up. I also enjoy all the girls getting giddy with each other. It's adorable.
It's so fun whenever the girls are together.
I also really like I really liked when she's back home, jumping into Fumi's arms onto her back. They're adorable. If they both clearly weren't so straight, I would say gay.
Fair.
Weren't so straight, I would assume they're gay. It's just a good summary of this show.
Hey, I think the other
other than the two characters that are just gay, you cannot
gay.
argue they are not.
They're so perfect for each
Healthily gay. Healthily gay.
Yeah.
We do get a scene that is just her waking up sleepy and then eating watermelon over different shots of the rural landscape, which again, very slice of life.
I personally love that shot because it's just all the noise you hear is just like the noise from the different shots and just like the light like just zoning out in the summer. And it's just like this is just me on vacation.
I heard just vibing. Her mom's like, "You want to have toast?" She's like, "Nah." Yo, can I get some watermelon?
Mm-hmm.
And she's just happy
watermelon girl.
I will say this. I did really like the open to the show where it's just like very like the silent like her traveling. I just really like that bit. But like overall for me, the reason why this is so low is just in last is just because it doesn't really do anything this week.
I agree. I think this is by far its weakest episode of the season. But for me, I still just enjoy like what this show is doing for like in general. Like but I can see why it's at the bottom of your guys' list because I think this is like you're saying like the slowest episode for the show this week. But it's also just doing the things that make me enjoy this show still, I guess. But yeah, I like our main characters. They're really cute. That's my TLDR of the show.
Mm-hmm. I think these two are fucking adorable.
And usually I give a pretty like extensive description of the episode, but really that was kind of it.
No, you talked about everything you could talk about.
Yeah.
We're vibing. We're vibing. Yeah, I'm sad.
They are vibing to the max, as one could say.
Yeah.
Fucking that screenshot's so good.
What a line, dude! Just to get out of literally nowhere.
But out of the exact character you needed to come out of.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
because
it's really
summer break is a time of transformation.
Yeah.
The 10th people loosened up, or the high strong loosened. I don't remember what the terms they used exactly were.
Oh yeah, that was basic.
And then we had immediately got to her going. Or else we go to, "Are you vibing to the max?" Mitsubi's like, "What is wrong with you?
What happened?
What happened to the vice president?"
Where did she go?
I mean, there is also the other shot I really like from this episode is the shot of her walking out of the classroom over the some people in distance grows what some people wants of Shima. I think maybe the one point I'll say I'm not too sure if I agree with from your recap, John, though, is I don't know if I'd say that she realizes. I don't think she fully realizes how distant Shima's being. It's more she's like, oh, he's over there talking.
She literally says, "You've been looking down lately." I think is what she says to him.
Yeah, but like I don't
need these.
I don't think I think she catches something different than like what's going on.
Yeah,
she obviously doesn't know fully.
Well, yeah, of course she doesn't know fully the extent to why he's like all sad about stuff, but like it's still her friend and she still she still does recognize that like he is being distant, which for a lot of our like awful dumb thick-headed protagonists we get in some shows, like they would just be like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were being so cold to me," kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's nice to have characters that actually like have brain cells, I guess is what I'm going with, and like a little bit of awareness for the characters around them.
Michael, do you have anything more to say about this episode?
No, really. I just find this show cute. I just enjoy it. It's a good time.
Yeah, definitely a good time.
This is one of those really hard shows to like sell people on because it certainly is just.
Do you like
some romance happens? It's cute little romance slice of life. Kanachika's little dance as he's telling them to watch the play was adorable.
He's
also Kanachika's great. He's one of my favorite side characters. He just wants the best for his club. He's trying his hardest. He's like, hey, read the script. I won't. I know what you're trying to do here. He's like, damn it.
He's like, but what if you didn't know? Like, think about it.
What if?
Like, what if?
What if you just didn't think about it, please?
Yeah, think about what if you didn't think about it. Just for me, please. Pretty please.
But yeah, we can move
John.
on to...
To also John.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, hey, John. You ready for Insomniacs? Yeah, I'm ready for Insomniacs. We can talk about it. See, that's the thing. We need to vote off Deadmount so I can just go back to back to back.
Nope.
No.
It would be really funny.
We'll see. Anyways,
yeah, we will see.
Insomniacs this week. We have another episode where it's like, well, we got to set up for training camp is the new plan. But they can't get any funding from the student government because they're like, we used all of our budget. Sorry, bye. And so they need to raise about, $1,000 to go on like a little staycation to be able to come and take pictures of the stars and enter this contest. And some of the other things. And so Gonta's like, okay, how am I going to do this? I probably have to get like a part-time job or something. They have another cute like phone call, radio talk show. And also her sister's over now. Our main girl, Magadi's older sister.
Who was just her with longer brown hair.
Who's just her, but also hot and older.
Man,
also an asshole.
Man, this show really did directly attack me with the opening scene of her fucking thick ass thighs and her going, "Hey, be my submissive little slave and get me a drink," and I go, I've been attacked by an attractive woman in an anime. How could this
with
have
a
happened
chocolate
to me?
ice cream that she's munching on? But basically, Gonta goes and tries to get part-time jobs. Avis clearly bombs his interview, talks to Senpai about it, who's just like, hey, why don't you just, like, work here part-time? The place you come anyways. And, like, I don't mind driving you into the dirt because I know you. Which is what they say, but...
It's real. That seems really funny to me. Because I thought the whole idea of him going there was to ask...
he was just depressed and wanted to go to the arcade, bro.
Like, I was like, oh, you're gonna go there and ask for a job. And the Shimada was like, bitch, take a job. And he's like, oh, fuck you, right?
That's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Hey.
Yeah, why didn't you?
There's no job postings there.
True.
And so after this scene, our girls, our 4-pack, are going to the beach because that's what you do in the summer. You go to the beach. And they're out on the beach and they get ready in their swimsuits. And they're also nervous about it because, they're high school girls and body image and this and that. And so Magadi ends up keeping her shirt on and they keep splashing around in here. And our douche magoosh boy is working as a lifeguard at the beach.
No, he looks like he's working as a lifeguard, but he's working at a fucking chilled ice shack.
Oh, that's right. He's a part-timer.
He's working at one of the food stalls.
That's right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gonta comes and works at the good old arcade. They're having a big chat. The girls get some ice bought for them from some other guys and get hit on. And so Gonta kind of just studying back at the senpai's place after work and making his plans with photography equipment stuff as Magadi just shows up because she just wanted to see him, let's be honest. From the beach and goes, actually we kind of got hit on, and he just goes, how interesting. I'm so invested in this story. To which they just start bust out laughing.
Because it was grade schoolers.
Yeah, it was grade school.
But hey, she didn't need to tell him that detail at first. It's funnier to see his reaction. And so he's busy looking about the place and worried about where they're going. And she just goes, well, good thing my family's cottage is right here and they gave us the okay to use it so we don't have to worry about hotel stays. And he's like, thank you. We can actually make this budget. And they get excited to do a little dance with each other in the living room. Which I was still ready for another. Is it Shinomaru senpai?
Shinomaru.
I was still ready for another scene of them just being outside the door going, why are they dancing in my living room?
Why are they doing this?
And we get another Magoru scene where she's like, hey, why didn't you fill up the barley tea? And she's like, well, it's not empty. Whoever empties it has to fill it up. And there's like 3 drops of it in there. And then she just drops the bomb that's just like, hey, you're using the cottage, right? I'm tagging along. Thanks. Bye. And that's kind of where we leave off in the episode this week. but it's the same shenanigans as always with these two. Margady is just wonderful, and yeah, it's a good time.
I think what sets this show apart for me in this episode, because this is, in my opinion, the other show where it's like, yeah, this is a really slow setup episode. In this, I think has been building for a while now, is that we're getting drip fed bits of stuff about Ganta, and I find his family situation very interesting. I actually legitimately thought that we were going to get like a semi-weird, awkward, like, oh, I met your dad at the beach and he bought me shaved ice. Like, there was just something about the way that scene was framed, and
oh yeah, we had the dad stuff too.
My brain did not realize that they were in their senpai's apartment. I thought that he was back at his house. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, she just walked into his house. What the fuck? Makes a lot more sense that that their senpai's artwork is in their senpai's house than in his house. Brain did not realize that watching this. But yeah, no, the conversation of like, I'm not gonna ask my dad for money because he would give
it to me, and he doesn't need to.
He'll give me too much of it probably. Like I'm in this awkward bit where it's like, I don't like feeling like I'm taking advantage of my father because I don't have a mother. Man, this really is the show where we just like to like drip a little bit of trauma information about our about the lives we've had, and everyone just sits there like, yeah.
Yeah, but like this is a terrible parent. This
Everyone
is
has
like
trauma.
dad trying very hard to keep his son happy because he doesn't have a mom now, and not knowing what to do.
I asked my dad for a video game console. When he asked why, I refused to say because I like to play video games, and instead said, I want the 3DS for its camera. And he went, fuck that, it gave me a real camera.
It gave him a fucking camera.
Like, and not just a camera, but a camera.
Yeah, fucking expensive camera.
Mm-hmm.
No, show's still good.
Yeah, that's what I think is like, don't get me wrong, I still love this show a lot. I just think the 3 shows I have above it are just really good this week, while this week was kind of like, it dragged a little bit.
No, I just like this show. I don't know.
Me too.
I don't care about things being slow. I literally watched. I watched 26 episodes of people working at a fucking hot springs.
True.
You did.
It is my favorite anime of all time. That is the plot of Harasaku Iroha. They literally just work at a fucking hot springs.
Fair.
And it's based as fuck.
Other things about this episode. Boy, do I feel like her friend kind of bounces like between we should not allow anyone to hit on us, and also, why aren't guys hitting on me? I don't get it. I do really like the detail that Marguerite is wearing her shirt because her scars show. And that is uncomfortable for people. Or can be uncomfortable for people who have that. It really is the way they do that scene is really good because it is like a, hey, you two, into your swimsuits. Stop hiding. You're here to show off the swimsuits. You're at the beach. And it's just like, Marguerite has a shirt on. In the meantime, she's gonna do her. And you're gonna deal with it. Hey guys, did you know that while eating curry, the most important thing you can ever say is that threatening people is my job? We pick up where we left off. It is time for a future reading of our detectives. To which, I'm gonna get their names up, because...
It's, Tsubame and Arase.
Yes. Arase sits out. He's like, no, I'm good. What if it tells me that, like, I should quit being a cop? I don't want that. That'd be no. Fuck that. So Tsubame sits down, and, we run through the usual stuff, and while it's going on, even he's like, yeah, so I work division I work in, you know all of this, I get it. And then Polka's like, you have a burden. You have a wing that's just it's still there. And it's gonna guide you to whatever the fuck you're doing. Tsubame's like, okay. Anything else? And then we do the pencil shtick, and it draws a symbol on the pad, and he flips the fuck out and grabs Polka by the collar, and everyone's like, what? And you know it's bad because Arase's even like, I don't know about that, Chief. What's going on there? Meanwhile, or bodyguard is just like, yes, these guys are cops, so if I find anything wrong, I can report it to them. Why is that cop flipping the fuck out? I should go figure that out. Also, Polka was definitely practicing this bit last night because it's the pen noise and it's the same. You're so close. You're so close on everything, child. So almost there the whole time. We get the bit where they get ready to leave, and they're like, thanks for the reading, Polka. And Polka goes, it was not me, it was the corpse god. And they stop and they go, I get you need a name, but like maybe a different one is a better idea than corpse god. It, bud. You sound like a problem. Speaking of problems, a building is on fire. Actually, before this, before this, our two cops are talking, and RSA's like, "Hey, you wanna tell me what the fuck was up, dude? What was going on with that one?" And he's like, "We can't talk here while we're eating food. We'll talk at our next stop, and you'll find out some stuff about it." But we learn, us the viewer, in a backstory that it is relating to one of his higher ups who showed him this piece of paper for like a second and then took it away and went, got it memorized, and then burned it.
Hearts got it memorized.
He really did fucking axle him on that one.
Memorized.
Got it memorized.
Well, it's not Axel. Isn't that Leah specifically who says that?
No, Axel does it. They both do it. They both do it. And yeah, so then we cut to a building on fire, and these mob guys are like, they're like, we gotta get out of this burning building. Boss, why are you at the safe? He's like, I gotta get the thing out of the safe. And he's like, is the safe fireproof? He goes, yeah, but the thing in the safe isn't. And then he gets lit on fire by the fire-breathing bug, who is another different appearance. That now a much bigger, rotund person, also still singing their song, who then just, after burning them, leaves, and the Phantom Solitaire drops out of the fucking ceiling, and it's like, this is mine now. What's this? And it's the same mark that we saw.
It's written on skin. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's written on skin. It's the same mark that we know was drawn for the detectives, which cut over to the Polka Squad talking. They're just kind of vibing, and they're like, so Polka, what did you write that made that detective flip out? And he's like, I have no idea. I didn't do it. There was no ghost. Not everybody has a ghost possessing them. Or following them around. Weird. To which then, or Pencil goes, yeah, that was me. I wrote that. I know that detective. Hard cut to our detectives at our club, at our bar. Again, man, I really need...
Clarissa?
Yeah, Clarissa. So, Tsubame's talking to Clarissa. It's like, hey, so, what the fuck's up with Polka? I didn't think that he knew him. You wanna tell me why he knows this? And Clarissa goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And they exchange some back and forth, and he's like, yeah, it starts with an H. Hosoroki. He's like, yeah, I got this message from Hosoroki, and you would be the only other person who also would have got this message. So, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but he's clearly alive, and something is about to happen. And you very much see a look on Clarissa's face that goes, he's not alive. We also know, obviously, because he's in a pen, that he is not alive. And then they leave. And we have our little bodyguard spy listening in, who now knows this information and is going to investigate further. And then after Tsubame and Arase leave, Clarissa gets talked to by her two gals, who are just like, how doesn't he know that he's dead yet? That's like wild. And Clarissa's like, don't worry about that. We're fine for now. clearly having done something to have killed this man, which makes sense. It's in the building that, she sends all her people to go do crimes in, and that she was able to lease out to Polka. Meanwhile, the Phantom Solitaire is meeting up with the vendor, and we get a line that I absolutely adore. It would have been the screenshot if not for threatening people with my job, which is he walks up and spouts a random prisoner number, and I adore this bit because it's just him saying numbers for a really long time.
It's a really good bit.
And the grocer's like, "What the fuck do you want, dude?" He's like, "Tell me about this." And he goes, "You're gonna have to trade equal information." And he's like, "Here's some useless junk I know." And he's like, "I guess learning that you're a fucking idiot is some pretty good information. So here's what I tell you. See this one stroke on the symbol? That's a sword. This existed in a country to the west, where there were a bunch of knights once. The other shit means other stuff, but I won't tell you it. Also, it's not connected. Surely," he said, "surely we are to believe this." At which point, they then make an even bigger deal, so that he can get more information, seemingly, and we don't get to see that part. Smash cut to Polka niece in a shark onesie. Very good. And then they all go, "Hey, yo, what's outside?" And they see that the Phantom Solitaire has put that mark on a fucking shit ton of balloons. And people the people who should recognize it start to recognize it. And Polka recognizes it. And you go, "Wait, Polka, why do you..." And then we get the reveal of the episode that Polka recognizes it from his previous life, where it's the symbol of the kingdom's arms. Where it's the sword. Well, it's the sword, the gun, a staff, and a crown.
Yeah, it's like the fucking Deathly Hallows or something.
I mean, what it was for me was a reach, but I'll take it.
No, I see it. Like, because of how the grocer described it, I was like, no, I can see it now. Like, it loses all the additional fluff of it, but, like, the core strokes are there, where it's like the one going up through is the sword, the one going down's the gun, the middle's the cane, and then it's the top little hat, that's the crown. And, like, those are the core of the emblem.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this episode was fun. I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed it personally. I enjoy having pieces of a mystery around and looping them in with the characters. I think it's really cool to be like, yeah, we have more things to do with the already existing cast. You just didn't know it yet. Time to unpack some things. I also like the idea that Clarissa might be more of a problem than an asset. And I'm glad to finally be getting something with her, considering that she has very much felt important since her introduction. And and everyone keeps talking about how big of an important power player she is. I'm very curious about where things are going to go with this show.
Yeah. I just thought this week was a little bit slow again. It keeps doing this thing where it's just like character, who this person, that person, this symbol, and then just kind of like plays that bit for a bit, like at the end for like a good half the episode. It feels like after we get like the fortune teller bit, where it's just like, yeah, him, yeah, him. And so, I mean, I didn't really like that part of the episode to a degree. And I felt like the reveal was kind of obvious, but I mean, we'll see what the ramifications of it actually equate to for our characters and stuff. But that was the only bit that I didn't really like from this episode.
Michael.
And I thought this episode was just cool. I don't know, you get a lot of good information. Like the way they do the scenes with like him overreacting and all that stuff was really well done. I think these two cops are cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're real good antags.
Yeah.
I think the stuff Phantom Solitaire is the greatest motherfucker that ever did exist. And his interactions with the grocer were great because he's just a fucking goob and the grocer takes none of his shit.
The grocer also has a really cool design. Like, we get to see a little bit of him, like, behind the bar, and he's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Mason.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this episode. Like, I didn't feel like it was slow personally. I felt like we were keeping up kind of a pretty rapid pace on it, honestly, because of how much we were kind of hopping around to other people. And it gave us a lot of information on, like, I think it kind of shook up like how we should feel about a lot of characters. Like, I don't know if our two detectives are going to be like in an antagonistic role for the entirety of the series now.
I think RSA still feels that way. We haven't been given anything. Like, he's so odd. He's very much a character who's like, I feel like you're always going to be a problem no matter what.
I feel like with him, the only reason I say like potentially not is just because he seems very like attached at the hip to Tsubame,
which is fair.
So that's the only reason why. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this episode a lot. I liked a lot of the like themes that we were getting. I liked a lot of the reveals. So it's just a good episode.
Michael, as a resident only person who's seen Durarara, are there any comparisons knowing that this is by the same author? Or is it just so different in genre?
Because Durarara's whole thing is people are in gangs, and learning what affiliations people have and to what is like the big reveals of Durarara, and that like you can kind of see that with this, with like the way this is like this feels a lot like one of the big reveals and like the end of Durarara season 1, like the big thing about the main character.
I was just curious.
The only thing really similar is that there's a lot of characters with a lot of connections in different ways. Like the fact that this fucking pen has a connection to the one detective.
Yeah.
And Clarissa.
Yeah. Like that's one of those things where it's like, yes, this random character just somehow has a super deep connection to these people through some backwards bullshit. But it's cool because it makes sense.
Yeah, I like it.
Doesn't at all.
I like it because cool. there are enough reasons to be like, yeah, this person was taken here and killed by Clarissa, and there was a relation. Like there is an odd like triangle of connection to these people.
Yeah, like it makes sense, but it's not what you would ever think of. It's a whole bunch of hoopla.
We also still don't know everything. We know we get a little bit more of like a. By the way, we are the cops who investigate. We are the watchers we are the ones who watch the watchers.
We're the ones who watch.
Yeah, we are the ones who watch.
We are the cops who cops the cops. We also get a really interesting line about it might have been mentioned before, but Tsubame's like, oh. You know that I have issues with women because arranged marriage. I think that was brought up like once before in like a very offhanded comment. And it's brought up again where like apparently he has like an arranged marriage thing going on. And that's such an interesting small thing to have about this character.
Yeah.
I am waiting for like the rest of our undeveloped cast to also become super equally important as this show goes on. How do the sharks incorporate into the story? I must know.
Sharkborg.
We find out this show is actually all the same plot of Sharkborg. Well, yeah, we're here already. 6 shows on a kind of slow week for some stuff, but generally good all around. Hey John, you're back again. It's Yamada-Kun.
So Yamada-Kun this week. We have Akane now working at a part-time job, and Yamada was pestered to come and visit her at work because that's what you do with your friends. You come bug them at work. To which he complies, and he's a good boy, so he waits outside for her to get done with work. In which her manager teases her and is like, "You're with that boy? Is he your boyfriend? Is he someone close to you, huh?"
Just an associate, because the manager's the dude who's like, "I'll take you on a date this Sunday."
You're right, the associate. Yeah, not the creepy manager. But Akane now, goes outside, talks to Yamada, and she's starting to have this little self-inflection of like, hey, is this really okay for me to have anything towards him? What is right for me here? I don't know. And so she's kind of having this introspective with her friend who wants to do her nails in a specific way, and she's like, no. And so she gets a message from Runa, who's like, "We have another crisis. We need to meet at the swing sets because there's no rom-com anime without a set of swing sets."
Yep.
Mhm.
And so they're talking, and she's like, "Don't you know we're adding another girl to the party or to the group?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
That's cool.
Sounds good." And I hate her already. Here's my 15-step plan of how to kick her out. And Akane just goes, "Yeah, but like, what if she's cool like me and a good friend?" She's like, "It's a good point."
Well,
Anyways.
no, first she goes, "That's the problem, because what if you two become friends and then she steals you from me?"
And then meanwhile, while she's like ranting, she just reaches back and says, "I got hot cocoa. Here you go." She just takes it, like, because Akane knows how this game works by now.
Give the child a drink.
He is a small child.
And we learned that this person that's been invited is the classmate, who also clearly has feelings for Yamada. She's having this feelings of like, what about a love that isn't reciprocated?
She might be the girl from the flashback, given the way.
I think
we don't know.
There is a scene. There's a scene that overlays her and Yamada, where like she sees younger Yamada in an overlay shot, and to me that was like you probably are the girl.
Mm-hmm. And she's very much just like well, even though I still want to be around him as like a friend, and so be included. And she kind of wonders.
Talk shit about him being bad at video games.
Of course, because you got to keep your friends in check when they're boosted.
True.
But Yamada, they're all at this cram course. They're leaving. Get the call from Akane. And it's just like, "Hey, aren't you sick? Why are you going in for work?" And she's like, "Well, apparently there's no one else close by, and like they need me to come and pick up because they're really short." Which of course there's just the manager there who could have taken care of it himself. But
I'm sure they're so busy so late at night at a convenience store in Japan.
Exactly. And so our new girl asks, what do you think of her? And he's like, His first thought is she always makes those weird faces. But he kind of thinks for a bit and he doesn't really know quite how to answer. Akane meanwhile shows up to work absolutely fucking livid, as you should, if you get called in like that. Because you are doing them a favor. He offers to go to dinner and she's like, "No, I'm going to work and I'm going to go home. I want to die currently."
Mood.
Yeah, we also got that weird introspective shot where it's like the book on the shelf that's like, "To you who has lost love, medicine for a broken heart." But meanwhile, Akane is like dying. And as someone who, I never understood anime cold and why they make you feel like the character is like actually dying. And then I had a really bad head cold this year and I didn't leave bed for a whole day. So I actually kind of get it now. Like sometimes you can just have a bad cold that just fucking wrecks you. And I can only imagine like if you're on a level like this and you're very like, I have to get everything done on my own here because my friend would not answer. I need to figure things out. So she's like, first I need to get water. Okay, I need to make food. I haven't eaten since yesterday. Hang on, let me take a break on the floor.
First, I need to get water. Oh no, my body does not want water. Okay, food. I haven't eaten rice. Oh shit, right. I just said the fridge was out of stock. I have no rice. Okay, I should go shopping.
Sits on the floor, goes, "Man, I need a break." She's like, "I can't walk to the store. It's late. It's too far away. I can't like."
If I take if I take the bus, I'll get other people sick.
Yeah, I'll get other people sick, so I'll take my bike and like collapse to the bike rack and goes, "I can just order Uber Eats."
Literally fucking dies at the bike rack.
Literally fucking almost passed out of the bike rack, to which Yamada catches her and presumably carries her inside, and that's where we leave. But it's just like, that's the most like I've related to a character in a minute, where it's just like, it's like you're just so focused on like the one thing at a time where it's like, I'm focused on water. Wait, no, I actually need food. Wait, no, I actually need to get food. Wait, like, how can I get food? I could use a bite. And then you just go, I could have just fucking ordered food. Like, what? What am I doing?
Hey, Michael, remember that one time during spring of freshman year where I almost fucking died? That's what this reminded me of. When you got to the door and I was like, I am not even healthy enough to walk across the street to go to the nurse, and people brought me a bunch of stuff because I was dying.
I never remember
that was the kidney
until
stone.
I had a bad head cold, and now I'm like, I get it. How cold can make you feel like you're just dead. But yeah, that was Yamada this week. It was a pretty eventful week, as always with the show, but I definitely think it's a good time.
Yeah, I really liked this week. as evidenced by the fact that it's still number 3 on my list. Like, just everything about this episode was enjoyable. Like the first like scene with them at the convenience store, like the scene with Runa, like how fucking pretty this whole bit at the end was where she's sick. Just I loved all of it personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of walked into this week ready to slay both Skip and Loafer and Yamada under the pretense that, like, after watching Mashle, I was like, I'd be fine if either went. And then I watched this and I was like, fuck, am I? Like, I know how the taking care of a sick person arc in a rom-com goes, but the show's really pretty. It does a lot.
Yeah,
of
the
things
show's
that
just
are really
directed
cool.
amazingly well.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how well directed the show is.
We get the scene this episode where Yamada saves her from getting hit by a bicyclist. And as soon as he does so, it does the zoom out shot, and it does the little like circle action glow on her shoulder where he touched her, and I'm like, that's real good.
Mm-hmm.
That's real good. The audio design in this episode is phenomenal because as Akane is like sick and on the ground, Yamada's voice is like muffled, to like even especially highlight her thinking it's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that we are still very much in a space where it's like, yeah, these two don't know. Like, everyone around them's like, dog, go out, idiots. Like, you would just do that, right? Her conversation with her friend where her friend's just like, yeah, he's a hot guy who told you that he would never think of being with you because you're so out of his league. I would literally just hop on that. What the fuck are you doing, Akane? And she's just like...
And she's like, he's 17.
That... I don't want to say that isn't her problem, but I know. What it actually seems like is she just didn't think of it like that.
Exactly.
Like, her brain's still not at a point where she's like, is the relationship where I want with this? Like, I don't know. And Yamada's at the point where he just doesn't fucking know how to talk about this woman.
He doesn't know how women work to begin with.
That too.
Yamada's problem is that he go, women? How do?
Yeah, he's a video game nerd. He doesn't know how women work.
Yeah, he's a gamer.
I'm gonna join you in your MMO because FPSs I need a break. Also, totally not because I
was like, fuck League of Legends. Give me a game to put 1,000 hours into instead.
Totally not because I know that you have that girl in the guild who I think you like. Definitely not for that reason.
Definitely.
I do adore Ruta being like, we must not allow her in. I will go take entrance exams and there will be 20 new girls in the guild when I get back. We cannot let this happen. This is a slippery slope of cottage. She's like, calm down. Have some hot cocoa.
Okay, I will.
Have some cocoa.
I'm still gonna ski.
Based Akane masks up.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Based Akane doesn't take the bus because she doesn't want to give anyone else COVID.
But does almost fucking die.
Yeah.
But does almost die for it, but like still based.
Runa is,
especially in this episode, just a little gremlin.
She's such a gremlin. I love her.
Runa's the character that just really grows on you in this show.
Yeah, very much so.
It's like,
they introduce her as the absolute
so annoying.
worst.
Yeah, and then you realize, oh no, she's just ancient.
Wait, she's just a child and based.
She's just a socially awkward girl who's in the Lolita faction, who's in the gothic Lolita fashion, and that's weird at her age, so no one wants to talk to her.
Yeah.
There are just parts of her character that I just really find very funny. Can I take this call from Akane? Will you be mad if I take this call from Akane? Take the call from Akane. She can't hang out with me, sag face. Oh boy.
Don't mind me just constantly refreshing the page.
Don't mind me.
I didn't see the votes go up.
Dude, Sean always stealth puts it up during my talk of Yamada every week.
I actually did it a little later today too. I actually waited kind of towards the end of our discussion of it.
And it's usually always me who's last because I forget to like click it because I'm trying to explain the show and I go, oh right, voting.
I hadn't done it yet either. Don't worry.
Oh. Yeah, like again, like that's the crazy thing about this season though is that there's no like bad shows right now. Like I am perfectly fine finishing any of these shows.
Yeah,
I have a feeling I know which ones we're going to end up finishing, but
I'm arguably gonna go
we'll
finish
see.
the 2 shows that went before this too. Personally, I know.
see.
I mean, I'll
probably
finish
not,
one of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know probably not all of you are gonna go finish My Home Hero.
As a
but-
person who is most outspoken about My Home Hero just being a bad show.
Yeah, I get it. In that regard, you might go finish.
Yeah, it's still in my
First
Crunchy
Friend.
list. I
You
just
might-
haven't.
You
Gone
might go
back to
finish First Friend.
Yeah.
We'll see. The results are in. I was really hoping this wasn't gonna happen this way.
Wheel.
Damn
Wheel.
it.
Wheel.
He posts the fucking video and I'm like, wait a second, I've seen this video. Wait a second.
So
God, it's so good.
Hey, you guys look at my cat sweatshirt that I bought off Cat at Anime Central.
Hey
John,
guys.
I'm proud
So
of you for the long con.
results. By the way,
Result.
full saves
I
on
had the video saved. I was just looking through my top.
Hell's Paradise, Insomniacs, and Yamada-Kun. 2 slays on Mashle, Skip and Loafer, and Dead Mount. I was really hoping to only have it be one of my shows on the wheel, not both.
Okay, the odds are likely. Oh, you got it, Mason?
I'm the one that runs this shit.
That's technically
It's
not
my
right, but it's fine.
job.
So again, let's make it very clear. Show it lands on goes, right?
Yep.
How it always is.
Please.
All right.
The arrow is a knife.
Let me know when we're ready. At least I'm
Yeah.
on stream.
I got it up.
All right.
No,
It's skipping Loafer.
Oh.
Sucks.
So here's why I am personally. Oh boy, this overlay is gonna look. It's fine. Here's why I am personally weep. Yeah, we're gonna go to the screen for now. Why I'm personally happy with this outcome is because I do think one of our slice of life romance shows has to go.
I don't.
Because
I think I'm okay with 3 of them making it the top 3.
My opinion
enough.
is that if one of them didn't go this week, I literally don't think any of them would have gone until 2 weeks from now. Like I think, and I personally, like I don't think that's right. I think one of them has to go, because I think you have to look at them and go, we have to decide which of these isn't up to the same level as the others. In my opinion. I know you two like all 3 of them equally.
I mean,
I really think Skip Loafer's the best of the 3. That's the worst part.
Yeah, no. I think Skip and Loafer is the best as a romance. I think Insomniacs is a better show, not as a romance, because I don't, as much as it has romance, I don't consider it a romance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Yamada's the weakest romance of the 3. I just think it's a really well crafted show.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yamada's
don't think
probably
their
the best
romance
comedy.
is done super well. I love the romance between the 2 and Skip and Loafer. Like I think those 2 have such great chemistry. It's crazy.
I felt that a lot, but I don't feel like the show recently has given us them. Because of the plot point they're developing, obviously.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
like,
because
it's the downside of it, right? That like we are slow building to that to be the end of the season conclusion. And to me, it was too slow. Like, I am fine with slow shows. I am comfortable with that. It's just when I compare it to other shows that I feel like are doing things, like you said, I feel like Insomniac is a really good show. You would probably think I was crazy if I put a slay on it. Because I could maybe argue that I think, like, Insomniacs is really at, like, maybe a lull standstill recently. But again, that show feels really comfortable. I agree on the sentiment of Yamada-Kun. I really like the production level of that show. You're not going to get me to vote off Hell's Paradise.
See, I don't expect that to ever happen.
No,
I don't expect that. That was getting into top 3 from week
Yeah.
fucking 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I accepted that.
I think that at least one of my two shows deserved another week to sit. Because I think they both have been doing really well in just like everything else that we have right now. And we've said it. We all like everything that's here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I just like the fact that I had 3 shows left with 6 shows remaining. That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah,
I know you like it. I know you liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a good time. Do I think I'm gonna win? Probably not, but that's okay.
Hey, look, I'm just hoping to try to have one of mine in the top 3.
I just think I got a very lucky banger collection of 3 shows for picking last.
Yeah, you picked well.
I picked the ones that everybody was like, "Oh, god damn it."
Well, yeah, that's
good time.
How it always goes. But with that makes this legitimately we're still a 2-hour podcast because we started for like half an hour. We just talked without.
Yeah, we spent half an hour just vibing, talking about nothing, shooting the shit.
Yeah.
But that does conclude this week's episode, which means, guys, we have next week, another week, and then we're done. We're at the finale.
Wow.
So 2 more votes, and then
almost
we
there.
get to, and we'll probably just have to do the immediate next week for the finale because I think everything will be out. Unless Mashle makes it in the top 3, I think everything will be done.
Yeah.
One next week.
Cause
yeah, it's gonna get interesting because my schedule coming up. But I think
we'll make it work.
I think we finish just before I go up north, which is perfect.
Yeah. The other reason why I think it's probably we'll talk about this